have a confession to make at the outset here. Over this past year, I've done something I regret, something I'm not too proud of, something that, in more ways than one, I wish not to share with anyone. But here and now, on the stage tonight, I feel it's time to reveal. I must admit to you that I am a procrastinator. For most students, school can quickly become something quite overwhelming. Homework, tests, projects, TED Talks come in bulk, and it's one after another. Once I get home from school, I make a plan to do my homework, but then, ding, a notification from YouTube. Ding, Instagram. Ding, Netflix. Well, can you imagine what I did? Only the natural thing every teenage girl would do. Check those notifications out. And down the social media black hole I go, with absolutely no work done whatsoever. I imagine most of us here in this room today have procrastinated before. Some of us have probably done it so often that it has become a habit. It has become something we do repeatedly, oftentimes regularly, and most of the time unconsciously. My point is, habits are powerful. They are the main force underlying why we do what we do. And in the words of the English writer Samuel Johnson, the chain of habits are too weak to be felt until they're too strong to be broken. Our life in large is actually a summation of our habits, good and bad. As humans, we make an average of around about 35,000 decisions per day. According to research, 40 to 45% of those decisions are, in fact, habits. That's 15,750 decisions per day that are based solely on our habits. There's a quote by Mahatma Gandhi that I think summarizes this idea to a good degree. It goes a little something like this. Your beliefs become your thoughts. Your thoughts become your words. Your words become your actions. Your actions become your habits. Your habits become your values. And your values ultimately become your destiny. Things like brushing your teeth or waking up early are all parts of our healthy habits that benefit our lives for the better. However, on the flip side, other things such as procrastination and unhealthy eating are habits that can negatively impact our lives, leading to detrimental effects that can sometimes be long-lasting. Nonetheless, by recognizing these habits, we can modify their influences and change our life and the lives of countless others for the better. Come to think of it, I do remember a time when this happened to me. Let's flash back to 2016. I was in year 3, I just turned 8, and let's just say I was not the most athletically inclined child. I was the kid that was always picked last for bench ball, and I simply believed sports was just not my thing. While my friends ran around on the football field or chased each other in a game of tag, I much preferred to stay inside and read a novel instead. So, when the year 3 cross country finally came around, I, unsurprisingly, placed 38 out of the 40 girls that took part. It was not a great finish. In light of that, I decided something had to change. I wanted to improve. I wanted to change my life for the better. Looking back, I now realize that a big part of why I performed so low athletically was because exercise was not yet a healthy habit I had enforced upon my life. Back then, I ran once every 4 months, refused to wake up early, and failed to run long distances continuously without giving up and walking instead. So, in order to correct my habit, I did the only thing I could think to do, which was exercise more often. This may sound cliche, but practice really does make perfect. I forced myself to put on my running shoes, willed myself to not stop running even though I got extremely tired at times, and told myself to power through it. But more than that, this helped me learn to push beyond my boundaries, to become a stronger runner. And sure enough, various parts of my life began to change. For once, I was actually stepping out of my comfort zone. When the year 4 cross-country race finally rolled around, I went from 38th place to 11th place. I was extremely happy with that finish, but I kept on going. Kept building those habits day by day. Then in year 5, went from 11th place to 3rd place. I thought to myself, hey, you're finally on the podium now, but let's give it one final push. And finally, in year 6, I placed first in the annual cross-country race. It was a result that had exceeded all my expectations. But it wasn't the medal that made me happy. Instead, it was the knowledge of knowing just how far I had come. The medal was simply a token of my hard work, a gentle reminder that no matter how hard or difficult the journey may be, if you stick with it and never give up, the destination will undoubtedly be worthwhile. By introducing a new habit upon my life, I changed it in so many ways. To this day, I still go out running. It's been something that's helped me relax and unwind in the face of stress and pressure. There is truly nothing like going out on a morning run. As you can see, changing your habits can help you change your life. Now, when I reminisce about those memories, I think to myself, yes, I went from 38th place to 1st place by simply changing a habit, but all that still took 3 long years and a lot of sweat, cramps, pains, and days when I simply felt like giving up. What if there was another way to overcome our habits? Maybe I found things so difficult because I didn't have someone or something nudging me in the right direction. I think about it now, and maybe we could use technology to change our habits. I've always loved artificial intelligence, and the idea that humans and machines can now work together to achieve something truly spectacular has always been something that is phenomenal. Here now, that is more possible than ever. We are living in the age of technology, where humans and machines can collaborate with one another to catalyze change and prosperity like never before. Who here in this room has heard of ChatGPT? Yeah. As I can see, most people have, and I imagine some people love it, some people hate it, and others may believe it will be a hindrance rather than a benefit toward our lives. But what if I told you that during the 1980s, when the calculator was first introduced in schools, many people thought it would regress mathematics inside the classroom. After all, children no longer needed to be proficient in the likes of long division or mental maths. Simply press a few buttons and bam, they've got the answer. But soon, the mindset of people began to change. They soon saw the calculator not as a threat, but as a tool. The same should be said for ChatGPT and AI in general. We should not see it as a threat, but rather as a tool that can possibly help change our habits and in turn, change our lives. On that note, I'd like to introduce you to KN, your personal habit AI engineer that can become your personal motivator. Let's first ask KN to introduce herself. She is a habit AI coach that is available as a Line fan, whose suggestions are based on the book Atomic Habits by James Clear. In this example, I'm asking Hayan how I can correct my habit of procrastinating on my homework. And she's gonna give me a few suggestions. First, she's asking me some questions. When do I usually do my homework? How long does it take me to do my homework? And where do I do my homework? To which I answered, in the evening, I usually do my homework for about 2 hours and usually do it in my room. With this, she's going to give me a few suggestions to help me improve my habit of procrastinating on my homework. She says that in order to correct my habit, I should make doing homework more obvious. I should set a specific time for doing homework so that it's an important job. Maybe pair it with something that I like doing, such as listening to music, or rewarding myself upon completing an assignment. Finally, she suggests that I should break it down into smaller tasks instead of trying to tackle a larger project all at once. This will help me stay more focused. Wow, thanks, Hayan. Maybe if I had had Hayan's help when I was running, I wouldn't have had to use so much internal willpower, which was not only excruciatingly difficult, but also oftentimes quite painful. Ultimately, what I want you all to take away from this talk today is not only that you should defy the odds and never give up, but also that we should use the resources we have on hand to our advantage. Here comes a massive development in artificial intelligence, such as ChatGPT, and some people are still afraid of it, afraid of the change it may bring. But quite frankly, I believe that we should not be afraid of change. Instead, we should embrace it with open arms. Because hey, if we never change, then we'll never know what the future truly has in store for us. If I hadn't changed all my exercising habits all those years ago, I would probably still be a miserable person who keeps wondering why they keep placing within the bottom 20 of every single cross-country race we do, never knowing what standing on the podium actually feels like. It is a truth universally acknowledged that a major aspect of life is growing. No matter how big or small, we all have room to grow. And growth can never really happen without change. Thank you.